Yeehaw, indeed. I hope that brought some energy, Laura.
Wake up!
Wake up! Another Tuesday, another writing sprint, another episode of the live writing sprint live show, I guess. Today I'm joined by Legend Star icon Laura Nettles and Legend Star icon Becca C. Smith. How are you two ladies doing on this lovely, I presume, California morning?
Yeah. Yeah. 10 a.m. Um. Yeah. I am alive. I am waking back up, and I need to figure out what to work on. So
Ooh,
yeah,
there's options.
there are options. I have problems, man. So I can either work on draft 2 of my
Look at the little
vampires.
book.
Yeah, it's a chunkerish. For me, it's a chunky boy. But I have draft 2 of my vampire romance. I'm on chapter 2 of my mafia Greek mythology romance. Where Eros is cursed with mortality and has to work for a mafia.
It's very Arrow's profession, I feel like.
Matchmaking for the mafia, you know, as one does.
They need it. They need it. Who knows? Lord
His
knows.
bow
they
and
need it.
arrow are sealed into a handgun, so it's fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
A little digression, but I watched Rachel Reeves. Is that her name?
I think
I
so.
think that's her name. She reviewed one of those monster romance novels, and
Yeah.
this one was about a kraken.
Yeah.
And like, I don't really care about the monster part, but one part that just kind of triggered me was that there's a public government agency whose purpose is to match monsters with their mate.
I heard about this book.
And I'm like, why does this exist? Why does the government care if monsters mate or not? Like, what is the purpose? Like, this is a money sink. Like, it produces no revenue. It's just crazy. It was crazy to me. I'm just like, the government would never fund a monster romance agency. What do you mean, book? So that's where the plot reached for me. Like, I can get over a kraken. Like, that was funny. But like the political aspect of it, I was like, this would never fly.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a funny take on a monster romance. Like, the monster was funny, but the agency would never happen. So yeah, that's
I
fun.
have 2 short stories I need to work on. One is a historical vampire hunter for an anthology, where it has to be plausible in real Earth history.
Well, it's gonna be hard since vampires never existed, but
so I'm thinking of using the Centralia, Pennsylvania fires. So there's a coal mine that's been burning for over 50 years. And so I think it lit in 1962. And so it's a mystery on what lit it in the first place. They're guessing somebody lit their garbage too close to an abandoned slag pit and it just caught the whole mine on fire. But was it really? Was it? So
who knows at this point? Who knows?
Yeah, could have been a vampire hunter. So
could have been a vampire hunter.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with that one at some point. That one's due the 25th. And then I also need to do my Beltane short story for the AuthorTube anthology. Where I think it's going to be 2 lovers who turn into trees. So.
Ooh, that's sad.
Yeah.
And Ms. Becca C. Smith, how is she?
I'm good. I'm just I got up early this morning so that I could get some stuff done before the stream, but I did nothing.
So now it's time to buckle up.
But that's okay. I have
some of my breakfast.
I know, right? Oh, I've already had breakfast. I mean, honestly, in terms of self-care, I've done a lot this morning. Like I ate, I exercised, I showered, like I did all that. So now it's just the working part that I need to do.
But you do it so flawlessly, though. Just once these sprints start rolling, you're going to be on it. Loving the Kermit shirt.
I know. I think what I do when I know I'm going to be on a stream is that I go, well, I can wait until you know, it just becomes like this, like, yeah, I'm going to be doing that at 10. It's fine. I'll do this before. So
And what are you working on today?
I am working on 3 different things. I did film a vlog yesterday, so because I finally hit 30K. Woo.
Congratulations.
So I did a little vlog on that, and I rewarded myself because I was supposed to reward myself every 10K, but I have not done that at all. So I finally did for 30K, and then so I need to
Then
finish.
you get 3 rewards because that's how that works.
Well,
Yeah.
technically, I did buy myself a cupcake while I was there, so that might be my secondary reward. But I'm thinking I haven't eaten it yet, which was a lot of self-will, by the way. And it's like a red velvet with the cream cheese, but it's gluten-free. They actually make a gluten-free one, which is it's really good. So I'm thinking of maybe even not eating it today, and then tomorrow maybe filming a like 5K vlog, and then that be my reward.
But that would be so like, doesn't it age? I don't know how
It
cupcakes
goes
work.
stale by then.
No, I sealed it so that I know.
I know cupcakes.
I know cupcakes. Just because I don't tend to eat them right away, so I've learned ways to extend so they're nice and fresh and stuff like that.
Okay, as
And
long as you got it all under control.
yeah, I got it under control. I got it. Basically, you seal it so that no air can get to it, and then when I eat it, I slightly warm it up, and then that takes out any extra,
And also that adds just a little bit of moist if it's dry, so that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm thinking of saving it for tomorrow to do a 5K day, but I don't know. Anyway, but today I'm editing, and then I'm writing a chapter, and then I have to do my TikToks. So those are the 3 things I have to do.
Okay, well, you're lucky because we're going to do 4 sprints. So you're in it to win it. And I shall be everlasting, ever writing on my cowboy book. I've had a couple of rutty weeks for February, so it's time to crank up the pace, get on the train tracks, and giddy up, or whatever you do on trains. I don't know. You onboard trains? Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Heist.
Let's say hello to some people. We're joined by Wallace. Good morning. Good morning. We're joined by Katie. Hello. Hello. Yeehaw, more like. Anna's here. Wendy's here. And Katie says draft 2, draft 2. How can you resist that, Laura?
I did just have my video go live yesterday going over my beta reader feedback for draft 1.
We'll have to
So
watch
you can
that.
watch that in sprint number 1 if you have nothing to do.
It's 40 minutes long. It's
okay.
chunky.
Well, you watch it on 2 times speed anyway, so. Oh my god, read speed ratio. I mean, you watched it with me. We did do that as a group activity, and it was a lot of fun, so I enjoyed that. JC is here. Hello, hello. I love it when Laura come in and Laura blows us away with her ideas. And Katie's had a very busy morning. Jim taking Mama Abels to the doctor, trying to prep for a meeting I have at 4. I just want to sleep. Ugh, isn't that the eternal state of mind? And then Cool Gamer is also here. We are going to start the first sprint. And if you want to tell me what you're working on in chat, feel free, because I love to snoop on other people's business. We're not going to do 45 minutes. That's too much. Much too much. But how do we feel about 30-minute sprints?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
10-minute breaks. That should... Can we... no more comments. I think we're just going to go. Today we're joined by the morning library. So that's nice. I want one of them little houses to grow plants in. They're super cute.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Pling, pling.
Oh, did you just get muted? Oh, there. No.
Can't hear you again. There you
Hello?
are.
Yes.
Hi.
Please strike me down. How did y'all do for that sprint, Miss Laura?
Good. I actually outlined the prologue and then started drafting the prologue for draft 2.
Ooh, she's a prologue girly.
That was one of the feedbacks I got, was like, this needs a prologue. We need to see the bond before everything goes down. So,
For book 1?
yep.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we're working on a prologue.
Do you have like an opening line you want to share?
Sure. Let's see. That my new opening line for the prologue is, Hadrian pricked his finger on his own fang, dripping a few drops of blood in the scarlet wax before sealing the letter with the imprint of his newly earned family signet ring.
Ooh, intrigue, mystery. Who is she? Love it. Miss Becca?
I worked on the copy for my TikToks for the day, so that took the whole time.
Important work, important work.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. No, go ahead. I was just saying
go
that
ahead.
I'm just focusing on my first book, but then I did end up, I think now that I've been doing that for a week, I think I'm going to keep doing it, but then I'm going to now put in a new series. So it's more posting, but I think seeing how it's working really well with the first book, but it is just the books in that series that are doing well, which is great. But I'm like, well, okay, I can still do that, but then now add, the Dream Diaries, my other series, and see how that goes. And maybe we can just,
make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, get the ball rolling. I got
love
places
it.
to go.
She got places to go, and I'm locked and loaded for that.
She got a money tree in the wings in the order cart.
That's right.
I wish I had a money tree, but alas, I just have a job. And I spent that sprint setting up my phone. I got a new phone. And like none of the apps you can log into because everything is logged out. So it's just like having to set everything up. And I thought it would transfer from the old phone, and like all the apps and all the setups transferred, but not the logins. So I have to manually log into each one of my 57 apps. So it's taken a hot minute.
No.
I know, I'm devastated too, but it is what it is. What it is.
I keep finding all of these websites and apps and stuff. They're like, you need to do the double authentication. And so it still has my Canadian number and not my American number. And so it's like, shoot, dang.
No.
Stop texting a random Canadian.
That's funny. Well, yeah, it's a struggle. So, and I hadn't really set it up, and I started using the phone this morning. So like paying for the bus, like paying for my card, doing my like co-op customer card, all that shit was like logged off. So today has just been an endless stream of like having to log into apps over and over again.
God.
Yeah, let's see how our friends did. Wendy says, I'm just finishing up getting ready for my day, then I'll finish this freaking chapter. Please with the muse. I think the muse will grant this to you, Wendy.
Yes.
I read that as pleads with Medusa, so.
Morgana says, oh, thank God. I was in desperate need of some writing sprints today to catch up on my editing. Thank you. Hence yellow heart red. I hope you got some writing done. Call in, Morgana, if you want to, or if you don't want to. It's fine too. It's your life. And we also were joined by a Miss Sasha. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you're here to get work done, Sasha. So,
guess what?
Oh, guess what? What?
My sword is hung on the wall.
Wait, your sword? Wait, did I miss this? What sword?
I've had it since high school, like end of high school, so like 2008.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to college, and they weren't allowing swords in the dorm, so I couldn't bring it to college.
What?
And then I went to Canada, and I couldn't get it across the border.
Oh my gosh.
But it is.
Oh.
Aragorn's sword from Return of the King.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Is it functional?
I can get an edge put on it. It is amazing. So.
Well, you got a weapon if anyone tries to break in.
Yeah. So.
I'm just picturing Laura during the zombie
Wow.
apocalypse.
That's
It's a pretty sword.
It's so heavy.
It looks heavy.
Do you collect other weapons, or is just?
I used to have all of my Shaolin Kempo weapons, but alas, not anymore.
Oh.
So
I only have lightsabers. I don't think they would work if someone broke in.
I had
Do you have the fancy
metal fan that I could do my fan forms with.
Ooh.
I had Eskrima sticks, metal throwing stars. Yeah.
Prepared.
Yeah.
I only have kitchen knives, so I don't know. That's what I'll be doing.
Honestly, that's all I got too, because the lightsabers are made of plastic. So,
do you have the ones from like Disney Star Wars World? I don't know what it's called.
I do. I have 2 from Disneyland that I made, and then I have 2. I have Luke and Darth Vader's, the replicas.
Oh. Do they hang up? I think they do. Have I seen this somewhere?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I did. I had a video where I have like I have a Star Wars wall kind of thing in my bedroom, and so I have them hung up vertically. So that because then you could turn them on and they like light up the whole wall.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I just have the lightsaber sound in my head.
I know, and they make that sound. That's the best part.
That's so satisfying. That
it is.
If she will help me write Medusa, she will. Yeah. She's a girl's girl. I feel like Medusa. She's a girl's girl.
Yeah.
Morgana says, I got 300 words rewritten this sprint, which is good. I really need to finish this chapter. Well, there's more sprints incoming, so buckle up.
Yeah.
Buckle up. And Eva says, hi, Laura's sword is amazing. What's it called again?
Andril, Flame of the West.
Andril,
Forged
yes,
from the shards of Narsil.
That is the name indeed. I have sharp tools I could use if I needed, I guess. Ooh, that's a vibe. A light wall, but with lightsabers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun. Although one of them, I don't know if it's one of the ones that I got from Disneyland. Oh, I always do that. I just start doing the little things. I'll just be like talking and I'll be like, and apparently I do this a lot, and it always comes up. There you go.
I like this one, or the one that makes all the strobe lights. That's fun.
Yeah. No, it's funny because when you do them on purpose, it's fun. But it's like I just do them all on accident.
So, well, it's even better. Which one is the light strobe show?
I think
it's this one.
This one.
There you go.
Yeah, but no, the ones that you get are just not as good of quality as like the replicas that I got back in like the late 90s. Because like the ones that I got, the Luke and Darth Vader ones I got in the late 90s, though, those are like they still work. They're great. You know, you just have to like replace the batteries. Whereas the ones I got from Disneyland, like even when I replace the batteries, it still doesn't work. Like there's like a little bit of faulty error, but I think it's probably because you're putting it together yourself.
I mean, isn't just modern stuff made to break? Is that how that works?
No, but it's like you pay so much to get these dang lightsabers.
I know. Well, I don't because I've never had one.
I know.
Well, like $200 a pop.
Yeah, it's the experience.
Dang.
Well, because it's the experience more than the lightsaber. Like you go in and they treat you like you're a Jedi, and they do this whole show, and you have to like decide if you're on the dark side or the light side, and you do. It's really fun, and especially fun when it's a mixture of adults and kids, because like the kids can be so adorable. Like the kid that was next to me, he was like, his parents were with him, and beforehand he's all like, "Do not help me. I don't want any help. I want to do this by myself. Don't help me." And they're like, okay. So then it goes so fast that they're like, okay, put the next one on. He started to panic when it actually was happening. And he turned and was like, why aren't you helping me? And the desperation on his face. And they're like, I don't know what to do. But it was so cute. It was like sad and cute at the same time. Like, he's like, I can't believe you betrayed me like that.
That
This
is
is his
funny.
first step into the dark side.
I know, exactly.
Eva says $200. I need the entire wall.
I know. You
Gonna
know
be an
what though? When you're
expensive live
like
feature.
a Star Wars like crazy fan like I am, it's definitely worth it.
I have almost seen all the movies.
That's enough. Hey,
That's
that
my
is good
level.
enough. Honestly, I mean, obviously there are people that could care less about like Star Wars, and and I'm still friends with them, so it's fine.
Yeah,
You're not
I think we should-
blacklisted yet.
No.
Yet. I watched the original trilogy, and I think they're fun. I do like them. I do enjoy them. And then I watched the 2000s trilogy, bar the first one. I was told to skip it, the one with Jar Jar Binks. So I skipped that one, watched the two
Yeah.
next ones, and I still enjoy it. But then the new stuff, it's not for me.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the 90s ones, the middle ones. But it was just because I felt like they tried to make a story happen too fast, like Anakin can't go from like the hero to killing kids in like a 2-hour time frame, in my opinion.
Well, he sure did.
He did, and it was just for me really like they didn't pull it off, right? But other people, they have when they saw it when they were a kid, they love it. So I don't want to poop
Definitely,
on it.
Ewan
like,
McGregor, man.
Yeah, and I did love
He's-
that aspect, and I loved all the, I love Liam Neeson. Like, it's fine, but it just the Clone Wars, the cartoon that came out, that's over 7 seasons, and it's before those movies happen. And that was enough time for me to go, okay, I would have turned 2. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, okay, I get it, Anakin. I get it. Like, I would have 100% I understand why you turned. And so it needed that space. So that's why I like the Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff like that too. So, but yeah, anyway, we'll stop talking about Star Wars.
No, I love hearing people talk about things they love.
It's like, I know, but it's like, I'll go on forever and it'll be really boring for everybody.
Fandoms aren't a thing I fall into. I like Star Wars fans.
I have a problem where I will fall into a fandom and then like that becomes my whole world for months or years, and then I just rotate fandoms, and then I come back around, and it's just this loop.
Oh, I love that.
Like, I keep coming back to Batman, I keep coming back to Lord of the Rings, I keep coming back to Star Wars. Like,
Well, they never left you, Laura. They never left.
I know.
You. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I fall into fandoms, but I do fall into like things, and I like to talk to my friends about it. Like you and me had a little moment with Agatha, and that was just so much fun.
I know.
But I never got into like the fandom, but if I could, I would probably.
Yeah, it's funny because that's like I usually do too. Like, and with Agatha, like I still think there's a percolation going on in terms of like if I want to make a bag, like what would I do, that kind of thing.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
But I haven't figured it out yet, so I'm still letting that go. I'm kind of hoping because I'm going to that Paley Fest thing. That's in March, so I'm
with
hoping.
A board or the what's it called? Not a board, panel. There you go.
A panel, yeah, and they keep adding more people, so that was nice. Because originally it was literally just going to be the creator and Catherine Hahn, but now.
Oh, I mean, do you need anything else?
I know you don't. That's why I bought it I bought the tickets with just them. I was like, I'm good. Yep, good. But
that will probably definitely be a season 2 announcement, though. That'll be a perfect opportunity.
If there is, yeah. Although this is the thing I'm wondering about Paley Fest, because usually with Paley Fest they do the behind the scenes stuff, and then Comic-Con is when they do the announcements. So, but honestly, with Agatha, they probably do it at the Disney convention more than Comic-Con too, because that's when they came on stage and sang the song and announced the. But I don't go to the D23, I think it's called, or something, the Disney one. I don't go to that one. Maybe I should, but
yeah, still a great show though. Still a great show. Absolutely loved it. So fun. I'm thinking about doing like a reward system for each 10,000 words I write for the rest of this novel, like you're doing with yours.
Okay.
And I think I landed on vinyl because that's like it's fairly affordable, and I want more vinyls, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think when I hit 70,000, which is hopefully this month, I'm gonna get the Agatha All Along soundtrack because I just think.
Is that a vinyl?
Have you not seen it? Oh, Becca,
I have not.
Cute.
Oh my god!
I have it on a little wish list here. Let me just share it with you.
Oh yeah.
Where are you? Music from Agatha all along. Oh, I just love the cover, so I think I'm gonna get this. Can I share two screens? Nope, I guess not. Bifocus. Is she not cute?
Oh, that's perfect. It's got that 70s vibe.
Is it not?
Yeah. Oh, I'll have to get that too. I collect a vinyl as well, but I
Oh,
don't have
look
a
at
record.
us collecting.
I don't have a record player. I need to actually get one. Like,
Oh,
can't
I do have the
believe it.
record player, so I play them regularly. But yeah,
Okay.
she's still cute.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay.
So,
That's on
and
the
only
list.
If I
$22,
collected
which is
vinyl,
That's not
so
bad.
cheap for a vinyl.
if I collected vinyl, my first one would be the Over the Garden Wall soundtrack.
Oh,
Oh, what is that? Why am I blanking on that? What is that?
is that the anime show with a little guy with a red hat?
Let me
And a
pull it
frog?
out
Question
of
mark?
my desk.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this is he's voiced by Elijah Wood. And
Oh, that's cute.
yeah, it's so stinking good. It's like the perfect fall, Halloween, November.
It's like in a
That's
autumnal situation, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
these kids are lost in nowhere. They're lost in the woods. Or not nowhere. The unknown is what it is. So I think it's only 12 episodes, and
Oh, and the soundtrack's good.
oh my gosh, it's like from the era of Betty Boop and like
Okay.
it's old school Americana.
Yeah.
It's
Aw.
so fun.
That's on my watch list for this this fall. Is Over the Garden Wall.
Mm.
It's one of my absolute
Is
favorites.
it streaming anywhere?
It originally streamed on Cartoon Network.
I don't have that.
And
Is that like a
just like on their station. But now I have the instant watch on Amazon as well as the disc.
Oh, so like Amazon Prime, like it's on Prime?
I don't know if it's on Prime. Like I bought the episodes
Oh, you bought them. Okay.
years ago.
So it might not be streaming, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Fine.
I don't know. I don't know.
Whatever.
I was gonna figure this out in September.
Like,
But we got work to do, so we're gonna join into a new sprint. Just gonna race through these two comments. Wendy says, "Actually, that's good to know. I haven't watched the Clone Wars yet, but after hearing you say that, I think I will."
yeah, if you're into that, it's definitely worth it for sure.
Oh, I fall hard into fandom. Sometimes I have no control over what or when. LOL.
I know. That's why I was so happy when I saw on Stig's Instagram when he was talking about how, like, I think it was a meme about how all I'm thinking about is Agatha, and no one I know is watching Agatha. And that's when I was like, I know I haven't talked to Stig, but we kind of know each other through people. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just gonna message him and be like, oh my god, I am too.
And boy, did we message about that show. Oh, it was so good. And I had no one else to watch it either. So I was like begging the girls to like, you gotta watch it. I gotta talk to someone about it. And then you message me like, oh, thank God. There's at least one single sane person on this planet.
No, I was like,
That's me with Hannibal. I have nobody to just geek out about Hannibal with.
So when it aired, I probably could have chatted with you about it.
I have them on Blu-ray.
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh.
No, it's a good show.
Well, we're going to get into the second sprint. I think I'm going to turn it down to 25 minutes because when I do 30 minutes, my headset turns off after exactly 30 minutes. So,
okay, that's so funny.
Oh, let's not do 3,000. Nope. That's my phone alarm. Okay, we're going to do 25 minutes on the clock starting now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. How did you do for that stream, Miss Laura Nettles? Sprint, rather.
Well, I continued on with the prologue. We are finally moving out of the room and going to deliver the letter of intention to court. So, yeah.
I'd love to see it. Miss Becca?
I started posting my TikTok, so I posted 3 of the 5. So I'm almost there. I'll be able to in the next sprint do the last 2 and then start writing.
How much will you content farm your trip this summer? That's my question.
Oh, what do you mean? Like, will I be posting
How much
while?
content are you making from like Edinburgh?
Oh, I don't know. Like, I mean, if I can get into a habit of vlogging again, that's what I'm trying to do. Because my favorite thing is like looking back on stuff. I mean, because essentially you think about vlogging. Vlogging is like making your own home movies in a way.
Diary. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I remember the 2 years that Comic-Con had to close down because of COVID, and I would just watch no one on my channel watches them. But I think everyone could care less about Comic-Con on my channel, but like I was able to watch them and it was just made me so happy because it was like getting to experience it again because I couldn't go that year. So I
Now
think
I need to watch your Comic-Con vlogs, I think.
well, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I some like again, they're not very popular, but again, it's like, because it's usually like panels that, I don't know, like I don't know if people sometimes feel, because I get like that too sometimes, like if someone's like maybe going to a place that you want to go to, like sometimes you absolutely want to watch and sometimes it's all like, oh, I don't want to watch, I want to go, like that kind of thing too. So who knows? But yeah, I want to vlog it. I mean, not to the point where it's intrusive and taking away from my experience.
Yeah.
Because that's when I don't like vlogging, when it's like, hang on, just hang on, and then you feel like you're not actually
Say that again, but to the camera.
yeah. Like it might be more of a narrated vlog, so then I can just film when I see something pretty.
Gorgeous
And
B-roll.
like, yeah, exactly. So it might be that kind of vlog more than an actual like talkie vlog.
I'm so excited for it, whatever it is, in whatever way, shape, or form. And I got 216 words, so I'm on my way. Let's see. Morgana got 284 words. And is your name Morgana? Did I make that up? M.A. Quirk. I think your name is Morgana. I don't know if it's a secret, but you used to be Morgana before. I think. We'll call it.
Something like, I'm doubting myself in this moment.
I was like, is that actually your name, or did I just make that up? Is it Maria? But yeah, M.A. Quirk got 284 words, and almost at the end of this chapter, I'm ready for it to be over. So good job, M.A. Alice says, "Hello, people. It's been here just lurking because I was driving. Now I'm home again. Yeah. Are you working on anything today, Alice? Calls in.
Have you slept, Alice?
Have you slept?" Wendy says, "I painted my nails, so obviously the writing is going well." We were also joined by Wolf One Isolde, who just wake up 6 a.m. here. My name is Morgana. I use M.A. Quirk as like an overall author name, but you can call me Morgana because I think that's what you used to go by back in the day. Because I've done live streams with you, and I think I called you Morgana, but now I doubted myself. But yeah, thank you so much. And I'll keep calling you maybe Miss Quirk. I don't know. That's funny. Crystal says, "Wave vampire emoji. How is the creative endeavors going, Crystal? Call in. Are you working on anything today? Also, call in." Ooh, Morgana is an awesome name. Yeah, I've been not obsessed. That's not the truth. But I've really been into the Arthurian mythos ever since I was like a teenager. Just love the legends and the knights, and like everything is so, I don't know, romanticized for me. But like Morgana and Morgos, stellar names.
Yeah.
And also a lot of the knights have like cool names. Yeah. No, Laura, basically I'm about to have to kill my project. Ooh.
Sleep, Alice, sleep.
I was set up for a long time. Also, you're driving car under the
I
influence of
know.
Crystal says, I was going to just vibe and crochet because I just got home from the doctor's office and I shoveled what? Oh,
Probably
snow.
snow.
Oh.
I was like, what did you shovel?
Yeah, I know. I didn't know.
So like, do I want to write edits today? I don't know, Crystal, do you? The best thing about writing is to have written. So
Yeah, you could do it anytime.
That's the truth.
Wendy says I'm torn between saying yay for the 50K and no sleep,
I
Alice.
know. Sleep.
I am writing my queer sci-fi romance past the midpoint, so things are about to get real. LMAO. Ooh.
Oh.
Nice.
And Crystal is the biggest hypocrite, but like sleep is so good.
Yeah.
I was driving, went to the library and back. Ooh, did you get any books? What books did you get?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going through right now at the midpoint. And it's like I've been, going through this book for the screenplay and so I'm finding myself writing notes for the screenplay in the book document because, I might have to change it at some point. But like one of the reasons why I like this book is because, she poses questions. And yeah, I was realizing that my character is kind of just experiencing the story as opposed to, taking action within the story of like, at that midpoint where they're like, no, I'm going, I'm going after the antagonist or whatever.
Midpoint shift.
Yeah. But then she also brings up examples, which of course makes it confusing, is that like something like the movie, she brings up the example of The Fugitive, right? So you've got Tommy Lee Jones's character, which has the sort of whatever that transformative arc, right? Where at the beginning he's all like, I didn't kill my wife, and he's like, I don't care. And then at the end, he's like, I know you didn't, and he cares about him at that point. Whereas Harrison Ford's character didn't change at all. Like he's the same guy from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie. He just, got to finally prove his innocence, right? But so it's kind of confusing because I'm like, well, which one which one is it? Because he is kind of just living the story. He's not, he's taking action to find his innocence. So that is his path and that's what drives the story forward. But in terms of his own person, he hasn't really transformed any. He's just finally proved his innocence. So like how do you determine what story you're writing?
But if he didn't take action, he'd just be sitting in jail.
Well, he wouldn't. He'd probably be like, because, he never really got to jail, right? Because they got into that bus accident and then the guys
Haven't seen it.
Okay. Yeah, no. So what happens is that he gets sentenced and then he gets on the bus for transfer. And the guys that he's with in the bus are planning a jailbreak. And he kind of doesn't want to have anything to do with it because he doesn't want to get anybody to get hurt. And then they do it, the bus flips, it lands on the train tracks, and then a train comes and just like destroys the bus. And people have to jump out of the bus and like, so everyone initially thought he was dead because the other people had died from that bus crash too. It wasn't, but of course Tommy Lee Jones, being the smart, federal investigator that he is all like, I don't believe that he's dead. And then, it's like a big chase scene, chase kind of thing. But it's a very well constructed, well done movie. But my point is that stories sometimes do work when the character doesn't make a transformative change. So how do you determine what, like, is that okay?
Like, classic Sherlock Holmes never has a transformative change. It's about the mystery.
Right.
I obviously haven't read your project, Becca, but it feels like there's a transformation potential in it.
There is an antagonist, but I don't really see it much in the protagonist, which is like the character that's sort of based after me. And I don't know if that's just because I'm way too close to it. So I'm like, I didn't change.
I'm the same girl I was.
The girl I was
this book always. This book also speaks about like.
Okay. Yeah. What is it? Let me write it down.
This is Write Your Novel from the Middle. I'm doing a book talk on
Oh,
it
right.
on
You know
Tuesday,
what?
so
I'm
you
gonna
can tune into that if you want to.
I'm gonna write that
But
down.
this one talks about transformation and like the mirror moment in the middle, and like what does that mean and what does that look like. And oddly enough, I think it also had The Fugitive as a reference.
Because it's a very well written story. Like it is a good
Um,
example of a screenplay, and like, but one point that she makes is that he doesn't really have a transformative
Yeah,
moment.
in The Fugitive, an action film, at the very enter point of the movie, Dr. Kimball is awakened in the basement room he's renting. Cops swarming all over the place. He thinks they are after him, but it turns out they are actually after the son of the landlord. Spoiler alert, I guess, for The Fugitive.
No,
But
it's
the damage
okay.
is done. Kimball breaks down. He's looking at the odds, thinking there's no way he can win the fight. There is too many resources arrayed against him. So yeah, this one speaks about transformation. So
Yeah,
absolutely tune
except
into
that
the live show, Becca. And it's like she's super skinny too, so you can read this in the afternoon. It was 50
okay.
pages.
I'll definitely get that then. Yeah, because it's just like I think I think plot wise I'm okay. I think it's just literally is the protagonist doing enough action to move the story forward, and does it matter if she has a big transformative moment when I know that the antagonist does?
I don't think it matters. Well, I say as a non-published author, but I don't think it matters in terms of the transformation. But you definitely want a character with agency that doesn't experience
Yeah,
the story.
yeah,
But I think
yeah.
also
That was a whole
experiencing
new.
the story up until the midpoint is okay, but then after the midpoint, there has to be some agency in it.
There has to be, yeah, and that's where that's kind of exactly where I'm at, right? Like she's kind of been experiencing it, surviving essentially, right? But then I kind of had her like surviving the rest of the story, but now I'm realizing no, I need to have her be like, okay, enough is enough, like,
So
and
a
then she,
transformation.
yeah, it is. I guess it's a small transformation. I guess it's like I'm just so used to the big sweeping transformations,
It
especially
doesn't
for
have to be a big sweeping
characters.
transformation, but
Okay,
yeah, it can definitely be like an introspective transformation of like, I'm
yeah,
done with bullshit. I'm taking action on my own life.
okay, okay,
I think, but also again,
yeah.
yeah, I'm not an authority on writing in any way, shape, or form.
No, if you write, you're an authority.
Tommy Lee Jones's character is part of the world. When
Yeah,
you have that situation, it's the world around them that needs to change, Wendy says.
yeah.
Uh, and Isolde says, "Ooh, I have that right from the middle on Kindle. How does Laura plot?" They want to know.
Well, my first book, this one, I actually did plot embryos. So it's basically the hero's journey in this big circle where you have the hero's journey on the outside and the interior journey on the inside, which was cool. And then I did bullet points for chapter by chapter. Crimson Strings was this one was totally pantsed. All of these short stories were totally pantsed. This one, my middle grade, I plotted with tarot cards,
Oh,
and then I expanded from there. So the tarot cards got me the first draft, which then made subsequently later the end point, like the finale, became my midpoint. And so
oh wow.
I,
Okay.
yeah.
I also love that you just print all your books.
Yeah, so these are all the books I've actually finished a draft for.
What draft do you print? Is it the first draft, or do you wait until you have like a public? Well, obviously, Tiny Shivers
This one's
is
a draft
done.
3. This one's a draft 1. This one's a draft 10. This one's the final.
Okay, slay. There you have it, Isolde. That's how Laura drafts.
Yeah,
That's how
so
Laura outlines. Sorry, or plots
so
rather.
let me see. I can share my screen real quick if you want to see. This is my entire plot for my prologue.
Absolutely.
um,
Wendy said, "It's like Wally or Pollyanna. They don't change; they change everyone else," kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true. That is kind of
Oh,
what.
gonna need a bigger boat.
So I just did these bullet points, and that's my prologue. So finishing the letter, being seen off by his mother, arrive at the Kremlin, asked to see Victor's dad, be escorted through the Kremlin, see the opulence, hear the gossip, brought to the special study where Dorkov is waiting, present the letter, and then I actually did the reasoning on why Dorkov gets angry at the letter. Gets run out and gets cursed, which is the catalyst for why chapter 1 happens. And then, yeah, that's my whole prologue, which is now 593 words so far, and I am just now on being seen off by his mother.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Prologue should be short and sweet.
Yeah. No, it's going to be like a full-on 2,000 word chapter, apparently.
So that's
Yeah.
chapter 1.
I was gonna say, to get, so people that don't read prologues read it. I name my prologues chapter 0, and it seems to work.
Oh, I was just gonna name my prologue chapter 1 and pretend like it's nothing.
Well, the only reason why I don't is because in the cases that I've done it, it's because it is like a back history kind of thing. It's not like I'm not writing it like a back history. It's very action, like it's like in the moment, but it is like for Riser, it's about how she found out she could control the dead, that she was a necromancer, like as a kid. So it's this very traumatic moment that I am retelling, like as we're in the action, but technically it is her talking about, and so like and then the book starts, right, where she's 17, it's like 10 years later, that kind of thing. So that's why I felt like it needed to be a chapter 0 as opposed to a chapter 1. But
yeah, because after the prologue is a 150-year time skip.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's definitely when it's a time jump like that, it's like usually a prologue. But yeah, just call it chapter 0 and then you don't have to worry about it.
Don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I have a 1-year time jump between chapter 1 and chapter 2. So
Well, but that's okay. That's not huge. Like mine's definitely like, this is the origin of how I got my powers, let me have you experience it with me, and then boom, we're in the story. So
Yeah.
if you're yeah, I mean that's the thing, is that I think prologues could be anything you want them to be.
Yeah.
But
well,
yeah.
I know it's a prologue, but I've taken such an anti-prologue stance that I just cannot have a debut novel with a prologue in it.
Right, so call
I
it chapter
just
0.
so yeah, chapter 0
It's
it is.
done.
It's like all the backstory to like it's all the
Yeah,
backstory for the opening of the novel, basically.
Yeah.
right. Exactly.
Which is
It's like
very fast-paced and actiony and kind of action adventure-y. Let's see. Let's get back to another sprinterino.
yes.
Was 25 minutes all right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was
Then we're going to continue, but I think we're going to change location into a more cozy cabin.
Ooh, nice.
3, 2, 1, and let's do something. how did y'all do for that sprint?
I did well. I had to do some research because this particular part of the story takes place in 1842. And so I'm like, what is Russia called at this point? And do they have railroad systems? Like, help!
What does the Kremlin look like?
They are going to a Kremlin, but yeah.
Oh, not the Kremlin.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So apparently, this is the year that the St. Petersburg Moscow railroad line starts construction, so it's not built yet.
Interesting.
So they're just walking.
He's gonna have to hoof it for a bit. Yeah.
Becca, how did you do?
Good. I finished all my TikTok stuff. Yay. And
Yay!
then I'm working on the chapter today. So I do a chapter a day and I'll be done tomorrow. So and then it begins.
Then it begins. Are you ready? Are you buckled
The
up?
rewrite. I mean, I've been writing notes as I've been going, and then I did mark the major things that I know I want to go back to. But yeah, so it'll be interesting because I'll be still writing the book while I'm editing the screenplay. So
Does
we'll
this
see how
book
that
also
goes.
work for novels or just screenplay? Like, obviously it's screenplay focused, but
This is, I mean, yes, you could get stuff out of this for just in terms of characters and plot and things like that. But no, it's really just like the reason why I like it so much is it's not telling you how to write a screenplay because they're assuming if you bought this book, you've already written one. Although you could use this if you haven't written a screenplay, it is good for laying things out and kind of what to look for. But it really is best for rewriting.
okay.
So it's definitely giving me a lot of thought. And I've actually, out of all the craft books I've read, I gotta say, it's like top 3 at least. It's really good.
Oh, dang.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of excited to start this one, which is for screenplays and novels, and she wrote it as well. So I'm hoping it's just as good. It looks so different. It's so weird. I know we were talking about how the covers look different, but even like the printing is so different. It's like dark and
Ooh, that's dense.
yeah.
It's bold.
Yeah, whereas this one's like so easy to read and like formatted. So I don't know. This one's a win, but this one, we'll see. But my flaw is always characters, so I need a good character craft book.
Ooh. Well, I hope you find what you're looking for.
Me too.
And I am at 578 words for the day.
Yay!
I am at where'd it go? 795
Good
Nice.
job.
plus the outline.
I took 57,000 words to get to the midpoint, but now I'm just flying through the events of the back half.
Okay.
So I'm worried like I'll have 57,000 words in the first half, and then like the last half will be 20,000 words. I'm just like, ooh, this is not the midpoint. This is basically the climax. But yeah, we move. I'm just also about to about a train heist, which I've never done before, so that'll be interesting and fun.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, because I think last time you were saying you weren't sure if you were going to do it yet. So you've committed.
I think I'm committed to the heist now. It's like
Okay.
it's very actiony, it's fun, it's very bad guys close in.
Literally.
He has to like sort of learn to trust people he doesn't trust in the process, and he still doesn't trust them after the heist, and that's kind of what leads to the all is lost. So I think it works in terms of character and is like a fun set piece. It's like if this was a movie, this would be at like the maybe
trailer.
hour and a half mark. So we'd be into that like, ooh, things are going fast. Things are like not accumulating. That's the word. Like things are like gathering up and stacking up.
Mhm.
And at some point, the house of cards shall fall.
I like it.
So it's going fast. I'm enjoying it, and I'm just wrapping up the chapter where they sort of just learn about this potential friend has. So it's gonna be fun. I think. I hope.
Oh, it's fun. That's exciting.
Yeah. We were blessed by A gaze everywhere, saying prologues, in my opinion, work best if it's establishing the world as the character is learning about it, but only things specifically relating to the world.
Interesting.
And Isolde says, I'll read prologues after I've read Love the Story and author, but I think it's the retrospective, introspective that is skippable at any point for me. Yes, but what is happening now?
Yeah, but that depends because, like I said, because some prologues aren't just introspective, retrospective. Sometimes they are a part of the story. You have to read them in order to understand, like it is what's happening now. It may have, like, they may be flashing back to what happened in the past, but it is very much a part of what is happening, if that makes sense. Some are not. A lot of them are introspective, retrospective. I totally agree with that, though. I mean, sometimes you can absolutely skip and you didn't need to read it at all, except maybe later it gives you a little bit of flavor. But I think those are the ones that kind of give prologues a bad name because they make it so that you can skip them.
Yeah, I think, well, the prologue I have, well, chapter 0, sorry. Chapter 0 of my novel, it gives like the whole character reason for the character dynamics at the beginning of the novel,
Right.
which I feel like you would.
It's important.
Yeah, like, I mean, sure, you could read it without having read the chapter 0, but it wouldn't make any sense for you.
Yeah.
You'd be like, why are these people hating each other? What's going on? Why have they not seen each other for a year? Why is this like, why am
Exactly.
I in this world? What is going on in this world? What is the purpose of this world?
Yeah.
And I think the chapter really sets up, like, it sets up the world, how it works, and the reasoning for the story to exist.
Yeah.
So I think it's necessary, but I also do agree that prologues are not usually my cup of tea, but I think it's mostly because you say, Becca, sometimes it's not relevant to the story and they get put in because maybe the story starts a little bit slow and they want something actiony at the beginning.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. The books I wrote with my friend Hannah, we actually had to do that with our first book because we kind of started in, like, her going to college and, like, the original character. And so she doesn't know anything about the world. And then you sort of learn by the end of the chapter what's kind of happening. But people didn't even know it was a vampire, like it's going back and forth between this ancient vampire and her. We decided to have like a quick 2-page prologue that just is like the vampire killing somebody. Like, you know what I mean? Just like and finding, his way to her, like, that kind of thing. um but yeah, but like in terms of Riser, like, you wouldn't know how she got her powers. You wouldn't know that she's been keeping her stepfather, like she killed her stepfather, and that she's been keeping him animated for the last 10 years. Like, that's important information to go into chapter 1. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like if people didn't read chapter 0, they'd be like, "Wait, why is she controlling a dead guy that's her stepdad?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be very confusing. So,
Yeah, I
chapter
feel the
0.
same, but chapter 0, when he says words were worded and underworded and then worded again,
Unworded.
as
Yes.
it goes, as it was, Crystal decided they're going to crochet. What is your
Nice.
current project, Crystal? Call in. And JC says, but the other thing is, unless you read the prologue, you won't actually know whether it's important or not.
That's
That's
true.
the reason you should read everything in a book from beginning to end.
Very true. I know. I don't understand it when people say they skip the prologue. Like, even if I find the prologue the most boring thing I've ever read in my entire life, I still read it. I always read the
Same.
prologue.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite book series is Six of Crows, and they have prologues. And I definitely
Yes.
think you could skip the prologues, and it gives nothing. It adds nothing to the story. It doesn't add any
I love
context.
those prologues, though.
You do?
I do.
Especially the first one with the guard in the room.
Yeah.
Like, you get nothing, Becca. It's like it provides no
It
information about the
intrigued
world.
me because before, I remember I hadn't read. I mean, I started watching the show, right? And I was like, wait a minute. And I wasn't sure. And then I think I was on one of your streams and you're like, you don't need to read Shadow and Bone. You can just go straight to Six of Crows. And I was all like, okay. So when I read that, it really intrigued me. Like it got me in. Like I was like, okay, okay. I don't know what's going on here, but like I was, and I think that was the point of it.
I don't know. I think you'd be intrigued of chapter 1 too. I think
I
that's
mean, to be
interesting.
fair, yes, the whole both books were fantastic. So I probably would have been in no matter what. But I did like, I don't know, I like a little tease.
Then read the blurb, babe. Read the blurb. Yeah. I'm just like that chapter did nothing for, and I love Six of Crows. One of my
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you do like a letterbox thing, that's one of my top 4 books. I think
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. Um, but yeah, that prologue, man, it is needed. It gives no context of the world. It adds the like, oh, what is going on aspect to the novel, but so
Yeah.
should a chapter 1.
It should, but I don't know. I guess I didn't mind it. You know what, I think it does kind of remind me of like a TV show, because you know how TV shows do that sometimes, where they do the hook and it has like nothing to do with the rest of the episode, but it just draws you
Yeah,
in, kind of thing. So I guess maybe it felt a little bit like that kind of epilogue. Like, so maybe that's why I didn't like it. It did its job for me. It got me in. But yeah, no, I mean, you're right. You could take it out and still be great. Like
yeah,
it wouldn't like make the book, oh, now the book's terrible, there's no prologue. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yeah, ugh, it enrages me, and here I am making a prologue of my own novel. So is it the kettle calling the kettle kettle? Who knows at this point?
and you never know, that
Um,
could have been a note from the publisher, like maybe they didn't get into chapter 1 as they much as they wanted to, so they were like, you need to have something to hook us, so write something, you know. It's kind of like, isn't Twilight like that too? I can't remember. Isn't there like a prologue like that where she's just like, I used to live in Arizona or something like
I
that?
thought that was chapter 1.
I think that's
It's
chapter 1
not.
too, but
Let's
it's
see.
been
I
literally
got
a
it right
decade since I read it, so I don't know.
here. All right, let's check.
Oh, she got the hardcover.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one page, except she calls it a preface.
Oh,
And she just talks about how I'd never given much thought to how I die, though I
Oh
had reason.
yeah.
So it's basically like I'm about to die when the killer's about to kill me, and it's like half a page, and then it goes into chapter 1. So it's kind of like a tease. It's just like a little, yeah. I mean, because the thing is that the first chapter is kind of a slow burn into that world, into like, you don't know if, I mean, if you didn't know the book was about vampires, you wouldn't know it was a vampire book based on that first chapter until, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
yes.
It helps you get the promise of the genre across.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's why we ended up doing it for ours. Ours is like a page as well. It's not like super long, but I did the first chapter. My chapter was just more of like, oh, she's going to college with her best friend and da 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 da, and and you wouldn't know it was a vampire film until like the end of the chapter. So
Let's
many
see.
reasons. So many reasons.
So many reasons, and yeah, but still so many prologues that you could skip. And
I know. Like, honestly, and you know how much I don't know if you guys know how much I love Brandon Sanderson, but I love Brandon Sanderson. But some of his prologues, I'm just like, no, you do not need this.
honest to God, I started on one of them books. Could
One of them.
it could it have been Elantris? I think. Because I read Mistborn and I did enjoy the series. I'm like, I'll check out the rest of his catalog, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I started on
Yeah.
Atlantis because I really enjoyed the cover. But
Yeah.
that prologue, I was just like, I don't give a shit about this guy.
Well, that was his first book, so I feel like that's,
Oh,
you
okay.
tend to like, learn as you
Mhm.
do
Yeah, I
your
was just
book.
like this assassin situation. This isn't just a copycat of The Wheel of Time, Eye of the World opening. It has the exact same vibes. I don't know if you
Right.
read
Well,
it,
he did
but
finish The Wheel of Time, so
yeah, but it was just like I don't care about this old man, his old ass castle, and these old ass assassins.
you know
Just
what?
what is
I
the plot of
wonder
the
if
novel?
that's actually the correlation, because, did he finish The Wheel of Time before he did his first novel, or did he do his first novel
Probably.
and
I doubt they would give someone like Oh, you've never published a book? Here, finish this 13-book fantasy series for
That's
us.
true. Well, it was his wife. It was wasn't it? Was it Robert Jordan who wrote them? Where it was his wife who specifically asked for Brandon Sanderson to finish.
Yeah, so it must have been he must have been publishing
He
something.
must have had something, unless they knew him
Yeah.
personally or something. Yeah.
But yeah, I just like, oh, I don't care about them old kings and them old castles dying, Becca. I just don't care.
I know. I like, as much as I love him, certain books I'm like on. Elantris I was like on. Like it's okay. It's an okay book, but like I never recommend, even though I love Mistborn, I never recommend Mistborn as the entryway into
Oh,
Brandon Sanderson books.
what would
Just
you
because,
recommend?
well, it's just because Mistborn, the first book is very heisty and has a different vibe, and then the other two books are very dark, and it's just like it's a totally different vibe. Like he changed the sort of feel of the series throughout the series. So I always recommend the Steelheart, because it's a,
Oh, is that the superhero thing? Or like what it
yeah,
is?
it's like the destruction. Yeah, it's because if you like it, just read, like, I just tell people to read the first book in the trilogy, because it's not long. It's a normal sized book. It's like
It's not a
300.
door stopper?
No, it's not. I know. I just got the most
You don't
recent one.
recommend Stormlight Archive to begin with? Jesus Christ.
Even though Stormlight Archive is my favorite of his series, I do not. I do not. I say read Steelheart. You'll know if you like his style. It's short. It's like 300 something pages. You'll know if you like his humor, the way that he writes, and all the stuff that's in his other books is in Steelheart. And then if you like it, then you'll know you'll like his books. But if you don't, you're not gonna want to sit through, the entire 3,000 pages. So it's just, yeah. So that's what I tell people. I'm like, just, that's how you'll know. And if you don't, you don't, because obviously, like, some people just don't like certain writers, don't like their style, don't like the way they write, just can't get into it.
That's me whenever I recommend Jane Austen. I'm like, read Pride and Prejudice. If you like it, you'll love the rest of them. But if you don't like
Exactly.
it, then the rest of them are not going to be your vibe
You're
either.
not gonna
So,
like them. Exactly.
yeah.
So yeah. So I always have a different, like, I feel like everyone always says Mistborn, because Sanderson said Mistborn. He's the one that said, like, if you, in an interview, he was like, if I was going to start your books, where should I start? And I think he's doing that because of time wise, because how they all kind of interconnect. It is better to read Mistborn first, but it's just like, let me take over for Brandon Sanderson.
Let me become the new authority on Brandon Sanderson's catalog.
Yeah. Listen, Sando, you don't know what people should start with. I should tell people what they should start with.
And I'll listen to you, Becca. I'll listen to you. Well, I did sit through the entirety of Mistborn trilogy, so I have read 3 of his books.
You've already read him, so you already have an idea. But yeah, but you can see why, now that you've read that trilogy, why it is kind of odd, because that first book is very heisty. And then the
I
second
liked it though. I really enjoyed Mistborn.
Like, I love it. Honestly, the spin-off that he did, like 300 years later or whatever,
I also like that. I read the first one of them,
that
Alloy
is
of Law or
really
something.
good. Like, yeah,
Ugh.
kind of Western steampunk. But that's, I think, what he wanted originally when he wrote Mistborn, the first book, because that has that very same heisty feel. And then it turned into something very different. Whereas I think with the spinoff, he's all like, okay, I can finally have fun. I can finally do the heisty books. I can finally, like, and so they felt more joyful to me reading those than the
yeah, they're definitely more like actiony, rompy. I feel like I did read the first one and I did enjoy it a lot. So
yeah, and they're all like that. And that's what I liked about it. So yeah,
I think I'm going to put them on my list for, like, because when I finish this draft, I want to read a bunch of cowboy books, and I think the first Alloy of Law book, I think that's like a very heisty, rompy, cowboy-esque book. So that'll be fun. Let's go through some comments maybe before we do the last sprint of the evening. Let's see. Wendy says, "Oop."
I have the Mistborn trilogy on my bookshelf, waiting for me to read. They're the only Brandon Sanderson books in the house,
and I'm like telling you not to read them.
I know.
Like, don't do it. No, no, they're very good.
Mistborn.
I'm not trying to. I love the Mistborn series. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's just an odd series to start with, because it just jumps sort of not genre, but jumps like vibes.
They're very
and-
tonally different. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Exactly.
When he says, I love that point. The prologue is about what's happening now. I've never had a problem with the prologue, but also if the prologue is boring, then I just won't read the book.
That's true. That is true.
And JC agrees with you, and I almost find that something in the prologue is relevant once I get to the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I don't think you should get through the prologue because you'll be rewarded at the end. You should be rewarded the reward from the prologue should be in the prologue, and then Easter eggs later. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Six of Crows, there was like mentioning and descriptions that kind of matched up to the descriptions of the prologue. So I like the Easter eggs, and if you didn't read the prologue and just continue with the story, there would just be words, and they would be there and they would be good, but they wouldn't mean something to you. But I think the reward from the prologue should be evident after you've read the prologue, and not be. Yeah, you shouldn't have to wait until the end point to get a reward, I think.
Yeah. Tie it all
Yeah,
together.
and that's my 2 cents.
You've
Crystal
got
says
instant
it's an.
gratification.
I mean, I just think if you can't make the prologue work on its own until the end of the book, then I don't know. And these are all half-baked thoughts. I just think that
I want some
yeah.
gooey cookies. Yes.
Crystal says it's an absolute huge queen-size blanket made with really thick yarn that I've been working on for a year, and a bit lol, she's so chunky.
Nice.
Dion says, I'm guilty of always skipping in most fantasy books specifically. I've yet to be confused, though, as everything is almost always explained in context clues through the story. And I think that's fair. Oh, that sounds lovely for the blanket. Wendy says, I also love a prologue that tells you something that is going to happen, and then it just sits in your mind as a mystery.
Yeah.
Or a ticking bomb. Hi, besties. I think prologues work better in fantasy books because it's a way to set up the world the reader is going into without having the actual book feel info dumpy.
That's true. That can definitely.
It can definitely help, yeah. It's short, which is nice. I definitely think a prologue shouldn't be too long. Laura.
What?
Let's see. There was some more. Alice is back. And when he says, yeah, and if you can't read Pride and Prejudice, you won't make it through the others. Yep, that's true. Luckily, I love Pride and Prejudice.
Sorry, Alice. She doesn't like
yeah.
Pride and Prejudice.
But you have to read a book to get the reward of the book. Yes, but I feel like the prologue should be like, when you get into chapter 1, it should be evident why there is a prologue. Does that make sense? Well, I don't read the prologue just for the Easter eggs. I just don't believe in skipping any part of the book. The writer put in there for a reason, so I'm reading whatever is there.
Yeah.
I read Six of Crows prologue and thought Juiced was a stupid name and never continued. Yeah, I was a bit sad, like, Juiced? What a weird name. Okay.
That's so funny because there's this TV show that I watched, and like he was, his name was Josh, but he realized he wasn't supposed to say his name, and so they're like, "What's his name?" And he's about to say it, and he's like, "Juice." For some reason, it like made me laugh so hard that I was like, if I ever get another cat, I'm naming him Juice.
That's funny. JC says, Stig, would you want someone to skip your prologue? I don't have a prologue. I have a chapter 0.
That's right. I don't either. I only have a chapter 0 too.
Like, no chapter of a book stands on its own, so why would a prologue? Because if the prologue is just part of the story, then just call it chapter 1.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I think with time jumps, that's why prologues usually, like, that seems to be the pretty standard if there's a time jump.
And don't get me started with a, like, in media res prologue. Oh, no. No, no, no. In this house, absolutely not. But yeah. As I said, I have a very strong opinions about prologues for a bitch with a prologue. So, or chapter 1, sorry, chapter 0. Love Pride and Prejudice. Yeah, I agree with that. Author J.C. Carpenter, they put it there for a reason. They might have been wrong, but that will all come as you read the book. Yeah, I mean, I don't skip prologues. Like, obviously, I read the Six of Crows one, and I don't think I've read a book with a prologue since. But I just because they put something there does not mean that it should have been put there in the first place. Especially if you read indie books, like a lot of them commit some sins.
Yeah. Well, but I think true. It also on the flip side of like traditionally published, sometimes it's the publishers decision and the writer didn't want to put it in, but the publisher was all like, no, we need something, so you got to put something in. So it's like you never know who's making the decisions.
Yeah, jump in time and place, says Wendy. Same as an epilogue. Yep. Record scratch. Bet you're wondering how I ended up here. It has very much the vibe. Like an in media res prologue. Don't like her. Oh my god, Stieg here is giving 90s heartthrob. Thank you.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Thank you, I think. It's just falling in a really chic
We've
way.
got like an Ethan Hawke Reality Bites thing going on.
Yeah, it just keeps falling in this really chic way, and I can't do anything about it. That's a Fleabag quote. There was a book, and as I got into it, the prologue stole all the tension from the relationship, and it was just not the right choice. I cannot read words today, and it was just not the right choice. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Fleabag. Thank you. You got it. But yeah, we're gonna go into the last sprint of the evening. Then we're gonna wrap up. So 24 minutes and 57 seconds from now.
Okay.
that was the last sprint for us today. Miss President Secretary, Madam Hills, how did you do?
I did pretty good. I got some more words, did a little bit more research about navigation in Russia in 1842. It's like, how are we getting around? So
And how are we
reached
getting around?
a river. On a boat.
A river, beautiful.
Yeah. And then I started cooking some shells and cheese. So
Yum.
the pasta is in the boiling water right now
Love
because
pasta.
my stomach would not stop growling.
Ms. Becca, how did you do?
I did good. I finished reading and highlighting the second to last chapter, but I'm realizing that the last chapter is just a case study. So I am technically done. It's just the last chapter is just like basically Paul Haggis talking about how he writes screenplays. So
I love the journey for you. Would recommend?
would I what?
Would recommend the book?
Oh yes, 100%. Like I said, like as I lose my old stuff, top 3 for sure. But again, it's like if you're writing screenplays.
But not if you're writing novels.
No, I don't think so because it's very specific in terms of like. I mean, you definitely
Page
could get
47,
something.
you have the big reveal.
Yeah, like she breaks it down like hey, if you haven't got to your midpoint and you're on page blah blah blah, you kind of so it definitely is specific like that, which I love. But you could definitely get something out of it because she talks about the stories and like characters and what types of characters and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I really would only recommend it if you're writing screenplays.
Which I only do for my fanfics. So there you go. And I did not do a single word, but I did outline. So I did some words in outline.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to choreograph the train heist. Okay. It's like there's a demolition expert and she's got to rig the bridge, and then the bridge is going to explode, and then they got to stop the train on the other side of the bridge, and then so it's an old song and dance.
No, it's good to plan it out. It'll make it much easier to write.
Yeah, and it's like I'm trying to remind myself that okay, it's draft 1, low stakes. Yeah. The only job it has to serve right now is to exist.
Yeah.
But I still want to get like as close to what I imagine as possible.
Absolutely.
And Morgana is also done. The chapter is done. I'm going to get ready to sleep and daydream about the next chapter. You're going to night dream, actually, because I believe you're in the UK. Thank you for the sprints. Good night, everyone. Good night, Morgana. Sweet dreams are made of cheese, as we all know.
Obviously.
What do you say? So if I had skipped the prologue, maybe I would have read the whole thing, lol. That's a thought, but then that's not what the author wrote, so yeah. Crystal started a new row, turning this thing in hell on my arms. Turning this thing is hell on my arms. Oh, the blanket.
Yeah.
I got more words and deleted less of them this time. Well done, Wendy. It's hard to keep that in mind. It just has to exist. It is so hard. Writing a book, Wendy, I don't know if you know about her, but she's hard.
Have you heard about it?
Yeah. Grape says, I made it from the car to the bed. Nap time is imminent. She got to rest and relax because tomorrow she's doing sprints in the Troublemaker channel.
Yes.
Also known as It's So Heavy. I believe that. Queen size blanket. I could not. And that's the end of our road today. Thank you so much, little ladies, for accompanying us.
Thank you.
On this fine Tuesday.
Yes.
Any parting words?
Just have so much more to do, but it's good.
You got the whole day to do it, Beck. You got the whole day.
I know.
My noodles are done.
Oh, there you go.
And I think this is going to be an honorable mention to Laura's noodles. My name is Stig. I'm going to be here next week too. This is going to be a writer's chat about writing a book from the middle of the book with Malin. And that's about it. Toodaloo. See you next Tuesday.